Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial. Go to audibletrial.com/Rushmore. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Greetings and welcome to the Mount Rushmore podcast. My name is Jeff, and I'm joined by my good buddies Richard.
Hello.
And Michael.
Howdy.
Richard and Michael have a tendency to disagree on the most important aspects of any given topic, and this week's topic was chosen by myself, and they are going to debate the Mount Rushmore of things related to a shopping mall. Jeff, why did you pick this topic? Well, thank you guys for asking me that. My first job was in a shopping mall, and about 20 jobs subsequent to that job were also in shopping malls. So I spent much of my formative years kind of spending my free time and my employment in these big artificial consumerist structures that allow us to live these crazy lives and in a simulated environment with artificial air. And
is this the Mount Rushmore of the Matrix or what?
It is the Matrix.
Okay.
Right.
It has its own Law and Order. It has its own chock full of nuts. All the things that life has to offer. And I also have lived in Minnesota, in the city, which gave birth to the first shopping mall, which is Edina, Minnesota, and the biggest shopping mall, which is the motherfucking Mall of Goddamn America. And in Bloomington. And so the malls have been something that I've been pretty interested in. And talking to two California kids such as yourselves, I always wondered if malls kind of
hang loose, dude.
featured in your lives as much as I thought they did based on the movie Valley Girl.
Well, we all did surf to the mall.
That's right.
Of course.
Okay.
As we've established in the past.
Yeah.
By the way, I love these topics, like things associated with like the shopping mall, because I feel like it's a $25,000 pyramid category.
Oh, okay.
You know, Billy Crystal should be sitting there shouting things out
things
like
you,
things in a shopping mall. Well,
people with hairy backs. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I enjoyed going to the mall growing up. The malls started to fall away right as I was becoming like a quasi-independent teenager.
Yeah.
Like especially around here in California, the '94 earthquake basically decimated the Sherman Oaks Galleria, which is like the mall. If there's a mall that is the mall that's sung about in Valley Girl, as you said.
Valley
it's
Girl, yeah.
that mall.
Yeah.
And after the '94 Northridge earthquake, like one of the stores closed down, like one of the two like bookends.
The anchors.
It was either it was like Macy's or Robinson's or like Robinson's May or the Maycomb. I don't know.
Whoa.
It was one of those four iterations of whatever it was.
Bloomingdale's.
And like Nordstrom's, and then Nordstrom's was just like, we're out of here.
Yeah.
We're not dealing with this. And then, that was it for that mall.
Oh.
And then by the time I was, a couple of years later, I was off to college, so didn't really. And then up in Santa Barbara, it was like outdoor malls.
Yeah,
And
everything's outdoor, yeah.
That was a whole different.
And we had, if you were in Fresno, you had 3 malls to choose from. You had Fashion Fair, which was the one most people went to. You had Blackstone, which was the like real trash one. Like that's where you went if you wanted to get jumped.
Oh.
Then there's one out in Clovis that they opened up like probably when I was in junior high. That was like the shishi, like trendy one that had all like the higher end sort of places.
Oh.
So you had your range. You didn't have much to do other than go to the mall and kind of just hang out. So especially in high school, if someone had a car, that's just kind of where you went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's jump into it. Eeny, meeny, miny, mall. Catch a shopper by the tall, iffy hollers, make him pay. Richard Manfredi.
What's happening?
You start today.
Wow, that was pretty good, Jeff. I liked it.
You got there eventually.
You worked for it.
It took a while.
I could see you working.
It's like
If you're tuning back into the podcast now,
it's like you see a plane trying to land. You're like, it's not going to do it. It's not.
It's like watching Miles Davis in the last months of his life, kind of soloing.
Jeff had his back to us the whole time while he was doing that. So my first one is the food court.
Also on my list.
Okay. It had to be. This is the most mall thing possible,
The
I
most
think.
small thing.
It is the international stomping grounds of the world. Where you can just eat anything from Mrs. Fields cookies right on over to Wetzel's pretzels and then
vomit.
And then vomit. And then like a baba ganoush.
So I have a few specific common stalls that you might have here, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about each, and then we can sort of talk about any more that we feel appropriate. But first one's Sparrow's.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know what? We always talk about it's still pizza. It's kind of hard to screw up a pizza.
Yeah.
Guess what? Sbarro's is proof that you can, in fact, screw up a pizza. Constantly the worst pizza.
Yeah.
You can, and I don't know how they do it. It takes a special talent to make Little Caesars taste like Vito's or something like that.
Do you think it's the heat lamp? I feel like it's always under a heat lamp longer than it should be or something.
Yeah, they're not making. There's nothing fresh or made to order at Sbarro's.
Yeah.
Like that chicken parmigiana has been sitting there just a little bit too long, and it's nice and dried out. And if you're in a town where you don't have a lot of Italian options or good sit down food Italian options,
Yeah.
this is what passes for Italian food.
Yeah.
And so you wind up sort of this is what you think.
Sbarro's was Michael Scott's most favorite New York pizza in
slices.
the office. Yeah.
Slice of LA's
What else you
pizza
got
near
what else you got
Za.
on your list besides Sbarro's?
I've got hot dog on a stick.
Sure.
Which, look, if you're 15, that's probably about the most erotic thing that you're going to see unless you're able to steal one of your brother's porno mags.
Oh, are we talking about the actual, what is the local, I think Hugh Hauser actually went to go interview the local hot dog on a stick vendor.
Wow, you really pumping up and down on that.
Multicolored hat you're wearing. It's pretty amazing.
Wow, that lemonade, that really is tasty. You get a shot of this. Actually, our friend EY, I believe, was a hot dog on a stick girl at one point. And I believe she said you actually had to send in a photo before you could get hired.
That's really sad.
High standards.
I think there may have been a lawsuit and they had to change that after. It sounds a lot like a Hooters. I don't know.
Yeah.
There seems like that basically in high school, they're grooming you at hot dog on a stick to eventually go work at the Hooters a decade later.
Did you find that you're discussing the fronts of all these establishments? I always imagined in the back of the food court, it was just one big machine that went blurp, and then it had a different tip on it that made it, Sbarro versus the teppanyaki.
It's all some sort of meat.
Yeah.
This is however you process it. I feel like it's similar to the Taco Bell gun that we've discussed that just has one of the 7 ingredients and they just sort of mix it up in a certain way.
I found that the food court is the place that has 7 or 8, 10, 15 different options, and you still go back to the one that you like every time, regardless. You're like, oh, look, they've got Japanese, they've got Italian, they've got the burger joint, and I'm just going to go get to the Mexican place that I know.
Yeah.
That I haven't died from eating the food, so I'm not going to attempt the other places.
What is the worst place in the food court? Is there?
Well,
I think that I don't know if it's okay.
I would say this: the Chinese place is uniformly asking for trouble. I feel like the Chinese place, as long as if it's not like a Panda Express type place, if it's just your local hole in the wall sort of Chinese food place. Again, I think it feels like the stuff's been sitting there a little bit too long, but it feels like stuff that probably is going to make you sicker if it's been sitting there too long versus, bad pizza just sitting there too long just kind of tastes stale, but it's not going to give you some sort of horrible food poisoning.
The place that I'm most suspicious about, but I enjoy their product back when it still existed, was the Orange Julia stand. Because I never was sure what whipped orange drink is. I didn't know if it was orange juice and milk.
They couldn't say juice by law or something.
If it was something I don't know what. It was always that thing that was oh, I want an Orange Julius. Why? I don't.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Know. It's chalky,
frothy,
it's
foamy
chalky,
orange drink. I always like when there is the cart that escapes from the food stand and you find it halfway through the mall and you don't know if they're they just gave up. They couldn't find the food court and they just set up shop there, or they're just trying to get away and trying to, you'll get to that Wetzel's Pretzels that's all the way down by the Bloomingdale's, but
it's for the people who just can't wait.
Yeah,
they just cannot wait to get to Aunt Annie's.
Maybe
I got to get that Wetzel's. I got to get my pretzels now.
Maybe it's for the parents that have a kid that is just on the floor throwing a fit, and they're just okay, there's a food thing that is 40 steps away. We're just going to grab. We don't have to go to the food court. We'll just grab this piece of sugar and then cram it in you, and then.
Speaking of sugar, Mrs. Fields, you mentioned the one. Well, I wouldn't say the one, but here's the thing: if you're lucky and God loves you, you'll know someone who works at a Mrs. Fields. We had someone at our college radio station that worked at a Mrs. Fields, And anytime she would come in for her shift or she'd come in for a meeting or something, she would bring like dozens of whatever the leftover Mrs. Fields were for the day that they were just going to throw out.
Most of your stories
That's when you know
are based on free food acquired through
There's
coworkers.
a pattern in life, and I like it. It's called living your best life, Jeff, I
Sorry.
believe.
Oh, I'll
Hey,
put my hater
trash
hat.
cans and garbage bags. Rifle
Hey,
through those guys. You got something good.
Hey, look! It takes a talent to take other people's refuse and turn it into a meal. Okay, Jeff?
What? So you acquired this? Somebody you knew worked in?
Yeah,
Mrs.
somebody at the college radio station worked there.
Oh,
So
wow.
she would just come in on work a shift or for a meeting or something with just like 2 dozen, like of whatever the ones they were going to throw away that night. And she's like, hey, whoever wants cookies. And it's like, yes, here's a bunch of college students.
Yeah.
Do you think we want cookies? It was like a dozen cookie monsters all descending on the same box.
One of my foundational romantic experiences that would be deemed as anything other than just kind of like plain vanilla was to make out with
With Mrs. Fields.
Mrs. Fields.
The plain vanilla, was that from the Yogurt Delight or is that from
I had a makeout session in the food court, in the back of the food court, in the cooler of a restaurant that my very briefly girlfriend was working at.
It's shrinkage. I swear. It's cold. It's shrinkage. I swear.
One of my first jobs was at a hamburger place in a mall that was kind of adjacent to the food court. And one thing that was the biggest eye opener for me was that all of the restaurants, no matter what they were, the Chinese place, the Mexican place, the whatever Italian place, they all shared like the same big dishwasher in the back. And there was one person doing the dishes for everything. So in a way, it was like this. Pulling the curtain and seeing that Oz, the Great and Powerful,
washing dishes.
for some reason I thought they would all have different.
Pay no attention to the man washing dishes.
If you could do that in Hispanic accent, it would be more.
I can't do an Hispanic accent.
Okay,
so one more
yeah.
thing, one more thing that I've got, and this is my like thing that I cannot pass up when I go to the food court mall. I will get every time if they have it, is the Mongolian barbecue.
Oh yeah,
and it's kind of cool because when you're like a teenager, there's the whole little bit of a show aspect involved with it.
Yeah.
You kind of feel like it's like a second-rate Benihana or
Yeah.
something like that. We get to see them actually making, and that seems cool. Then you've also got the never-ending struggle between you trying to pack as much food as you possibly can onto your bowl versus the non-Mongolian shop owner yelling at you to quit putting your fists down to try and flatten down the meat.
That was kind of like that has the same entertainment value as a Cold Stone Creamery, where some 15-year-old kid is singing a 300-year-old song while like using a giant spatula to mash up the Junior Mints into your ice cream.
Right.
Yeah.
But then I got to figure out if I'm tipping or not.
Yeah,
that's the only bad part about that is
I
do
don't
I tip the guy who's sitting there slaving over the giant 20-foot radius, like 400, like 500 degree like heat coming at him, and it's Fresno in the middle of the summer. Yeah, I should probably throw in a buck. But you know what? I was a teenager.
Didn't have a buck.
Didn't have a
No
buck.
buck. Okay, so thank you, Richard, for that first choice, which was also on Michael's list. Richard, Michael, what is your choice?
On my next choice is trying to identify malls in movies on TV shows and always assuming it's the
Glendale Galleria.
the Sherman Oaks Galleria, which is now shut down.
Yeah.
The place doesn't exist. It kind of fell away at the end of after the '94 earthquake when it transformed a decade later into like this weird, awful place to go. Don't go to the current gallery.
Is
in
it the
Sherman
West?
Oaks
Is
if
it the
you're-
Westfield one?
I don't know. It just sucks.
Is that the one that used to be
got like
by
a
your old-
PF Chang's and it's got a Fridays and then
Is that the one by your old place? What's that mall?
No, that's the Fashion Square.
Oh, okay.
But one of my favorite things to do is whenever we're watching like an old 80s or 90s movie is like
Is that the?
I think that one's the fashion. I think that's the Galleria. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we do that a lot. It's a very LA thing to do that with other shows.
Yeah.
Like if you're watching The Office, it's just like, oh yeah, I know where that is. That's filmed all up and down Burbank Boulevard, just east of Van Nuys.
Hey,
You
there's
just-
our kickball fields.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I think that there is I don't know if it's just like a recognition, and I wonder if other people do this too when they see malls and things, because obviously things aren't filmed just in your city.
No.
The Mall of America is huge, so the King of Prussia Mall in Jersey is huge. These places must have like big filming crews that come in, And it's weird because they all kind of look the same. There is, for the most part, there is a like kind of a generic footprint of how they're all set up.
Yeah.
There's a fountain feature. There's the elevators that kind of all look the same. The everything kind of looks enough alike that you can kind of be like, oh, there's like a ubiquitous to it. There's like something about it that I know that's my mall. And then you kind of do a little research and like, that's right. Fast Times at Ridgemont High, that was a Sherman Oaks Galleria.
Yeah.
Commando, when he's sliding down the thing, that was the Sherman Oaks Galleria.
Yeah.
And I just like that moment of like connectivity to a place that is either mine or looks exactly like mine. And I wonder if malls are built that way so that you can go from one to another and be like, oh, I know I'm going to walk into this place and all the stores are vaguely going to be the same. It's kind of like shopping for fast food. It's like you go to McDonald's and you know what you're going to get. You go to a mall and you know they're going to have the same.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
20 different places. And you're like, there's a familiarity here. And I think I like that familiarity when I'm looking for something in a movie.
I don't know what the Midwestern or other national brands are, but like the Westfields or the Gallerias. I think there's a Galleria in Minnesota as well. So I imagine they have contracts or something with chains, and so they're going to have a kind of conformed way to create a mall layout. So once you go within to that chain, you're going to go, oh, I know what a Galleria's layout is going to be.
Yeah. Well, Emily and I were watching a movie, I think last year, that she told me about that I'd never heard of, called Night of the Comet. Have you seen this?
Oh, yeah. I saw that in the movie theaters, yeah.
And it's just like this kind of hacky
At the Seville
late
Square
80s.
Mall.
And we were watching it, and it's a movie I'd never seen. And near the end of it, they're like stuck in a mall, like being attacked by these zombie-like creatures. And like, sure as shit, it was the Sherman Oaks Galleria.
Was it really? Yeah.
That's probably why it's not open.
That's like, oh, it's the mall. Oh, because it was attacked by zombies?
No, I was going to say because they were filming so much, they never actually could have anyone shop in there. How are you ever there, Michael?
I don't know.
Were you in a movie by accident? Maybe you don't know.
That's entirely...
Were you ever there when they were filming like in part of it?
I don't think so.
Huh.
I don't know. Do they ever, like, I don't know.
I guess they probably film at night, right?
Oh, sure. They probably shut the place down. They can light it however they want. They can light it like it's the day.
Movie magic.
I did a couple back in my days as a corporate video video actor. I did a couple of I think a Hallmark video and like a Payless Shoe Source video where you go to as an actor you go to this mall at night and usually go through the emergency exit or something like that.
Then would they ask you to stock some of the stocking after you're done?
I was always the employee who got fired from for fighting or something or stealing.
They're like, we need somebody in the scene. We need somebody who's going to get fired for being drunk.
Yeah.
Hopkins. Get Hopkins.
Yeah. Thick forehead, beady eyes guy. That's the guy. Okay, Richard, what's your second?
So my second one is parking and the lack thereof at every mall in America.
Yeah.
I don't know how they calculate how many parking spaces they need, but their math is off, bros. It's way off.
The end of the equation is minus 200,000 equals.
And then there's like a question mark in there somewhere. Like, we're not sure. Maybe that seems like that's enough.
Are you thinking of at capacity times like Christmas or something like that?
Well, most times, weekends. I will even say that's more specific for me because my father would refuse to park unless he could get as close to the entrance as humanly possible.
That's dumb.
Yeah, it was dumb. And we used to give him so much crap for it. Like, there would be a space, but it would be like 2 minutes, maybe a 2-minute walk.
Not even going to notice it.
Yeah. No. I think I see somebody pulling out. I think I saw someone walking to their car over there.
I think I see.
So he would drive over to where near the front.
Sounds like a reliable witness in like a murder. I thought I
did not see the defendant.
Pretty sure he was black. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or white, maybe Hispanic. Not really sure, but he was something.
I know that guy had a face and it was a color.
Clearly had a face. So then he would, of course, drive all the way around. That would be gone, or either already be taken, or would not in fact be a space, be like a handicap space.
And he did that from November 23rd until December 26th.
And so then by the time we drive back around to the other space, that's now also been taken. So we'd spend 20 minutes driving around trying to find the perfect parking space when we could have just walked in like 2-3 minutes and been there.
If he had
every time.
If he had a Fitbit at that time, he would understand.
Yeah.
Those
value.
Those 400 steps really add up to your day. Walk those 2 minutes.
What is what were you usually going there? Was it for school clothes? Was it for?
We would just go for the day out a lot of the time. It would be like, because again, like I said, smallish town. That's something you can do where you would go. It would be,
You can beat the heat too.
you would beat the heat. It would be indoors.
And this is where you learned your IKEA savvy, because when Richard discussed his strategy, it was Sarah and Richard drop the kids off at Schmaland,
I would
then eat as many Swedish meatballs as you can,
scarf down as many as possible.
then go buy one of those, like stuffed soccer balls or something like that.
Look, kids, I got you something. It's a treat. Yeah, sort of. There was the arcade mall, the arcade in the mall,
Sure. Oh yeah.
which I would get dropped off with like $5. Here you go. We'll go around for a while. Meet you back here in a half hour. Of course, $5. Even back in 80s money,
No,
that lasted 10 minutes.
That was 20 quarters. That was a long. Listen, I took down my fair share of bad dudes that day. That my good friend Eric had a birthday party at the Timeout Arcade. We
It's based on the Dave Brubeck.
we went
album.
after every bad dude,
Oh, that's nice.
and at the end we realized we were the bad dudes all along.
I think the worst dude at the arcade was probably the guy who worked there,
Yeah.
That guy
Probably.
that's just sitting there like clicking
Yeah.
at quarters,
clicking all the
or
time.
tokens.
So no, we would just go there, and it would be like once every few weeks. Like, my mom would need to go to J.C. Penney's to do. Maybe we'd start off at J.C. Penney's. We need to look for clothes and look for 2 or 3 other things. Then after we got that thing done, everyone could just branch off and do whatever the hell they wanted for like a half hour, 45 minutes, and everybody meet like at the carousel.
We have the only my most negative parking story was 3-ish years ago, I guess 3.5 years ago. We made the rueful mistake of going out shopping on Black Friday. And we were looking for wedding shoes specifically.
Wait, is that a thing?
Yeah,
Specific wedding
shoes
shoes?
that you wear for your wedding. Yeah.
Like they're just for your wedding?
Well,
Are those like running shoes or like tap dance shoes, wedding shoes?
they were my tap dance shoes for
Okay.
when we came
I
down
love
to
seeing
I do
Richard.
remember
Richard
this.
works a premise like like George Carlin or something, just annihilate.
What's the deal? What-
So we had this very specific thing just on our list. Like we're out. We're like, okay, let's go get a deal on some shoes someplace because it's Black Friday. We drive over to like the mall over in like Woodland Hills, and the parking was an hour plus of just like looking for any spot. And not like the farthest spot we went to, and you're just stuck in this endless loop of trying to find anything and hoping and praying. And then we have never been back to a mall since. It's just like, especially for Black Friday when everything you can do, you can get on the internet now anyway, on Cyber Monday or whatever. But for shoes, I think the part of it was shoes you have to try on. And if you're going to spend a day in brand new shoes and like wedding shoes and comfy shoes and you want them to look good and all this stuff, you don't want them to kill your feet, you have to try them on. And that was the problem, because like we might have like ordered some shoes and sent them back because they just didn't fit, they didn't feel right, and it was just like, you got to go get I don't know this. And it was just like this Black Friday from hell parking wise.
Are they Buster Browns?
once you make it into the mall, it's like a sigh of relief. You're like, oh, thank God we can spend hundreds of dollars.
Were you hoping for like an O. Henry or Hans Christian Andersen kind of magical moment where this magic shoes kind of appear to you or something like that? Because that would make
like
it
the
special.
red shoes or something, and you'd like have to dance
Hans
forever.
Brinker and the skates, but
It's
they're
so
not skates, they're shoes.
It's so funny though that when
Wedding
you
shoes.
finally do get that spot, you see that spot open up.
Yeah.
It's like the sky opens, and like you hear like the chimes, and like angels are singing, like and like we've been driving around for an hour, and now we can park.
Yeah.
And then the person who's ahead of you decides to back up.
Oh,
Trying to get into
into
space.
the spot.
Oh, you want to see my dad get mad? Oh, my dad was not someone who got mad. He was a very even-keeled person. But if somebody tried to pull that move,
Oh, wow.
where they would go past it, but then it would open up, so they try to like drive back and get to it. It's like, no, you can't do that. You went past it. You forfeited your rights.
Yeah, it's like betting over the amount on Price is Right or something.
Exactly. You can't make a second bet.
Yeah.
You're done.
The Black Friday, let's see, 2 Black Fridays I spent working as an employee of the Walt Disney Company in the Disney Stores segment, and what you did to help support the store field team was to go visit 5 different stores on Black Friday. And so you have to struggle with 5 different shopping mall parkings and then work your way into these stores. And then when you show up, you're the corporate asshole who doesn't really work for a living, and you're not doing anything to help except absorb the hate of the people who work at that store who were forced to.
Yeah, we're doing great. Yeah, thanks for the help. A lot of that kind of
You're
stuff.
these carbon filters that are just like bombarded.
Oh, I hate you so much. Okay, we are at our halftime, and the topic we've been discussing is the Mount Rushmore of shopping malls. You can go pay for something at a shopping mall, or you could get something for free, and that would be something from us. Well, it's really from audible.com. That is a free trial, a free 30-day trial to test out their wares at audible.com. You could get The Shopping Malls of Heaven and the Meaning of Life by Saeed Kauser and Simone Gabay. With Audible, you could get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/Rushmore. That's the forward-leaning slash, the one leaning to the right, the top of slashes. Over 180,000 titles to choose from are available for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/Rushmore. Let me repeat, it's audibletrial.com/Rushmore for your free audiobook.
Look, you could try going to your local Walden Books
Yeah.
and peruse their dozens of books that they have, even though they don't exist anymore.
Yes.
And try to fight parking at the mall and all that stuff.
Yes.
Or you can just go to Audible, and they'll even read it for you.
They'll even read it for you.
You're not getting that at the mall.
Somebody with like the steam of like a Richard Thomas, John Boy of the Waltons, will be
I mean, that's Sir Richard Thomas.
Sir, I apologize.
Yes.
Oh my God, I wanted to work at Walton Books. I wanted to work at B. Dalton.
Oh, that's the other one.
Oh, so great. You could just sit there and read How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way by Stan Lee while you're working. It'd be awesome.
That is such a wonderful book.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
Especially since it's by Stan Lee when he is not a drawer.
He doesn't know how to do art at all.
Sal Buscema, I think, was the artist on that one.
Cool. Okay.
Pretty sure. I had that one. Wonderful book.
Yeah.
Perfectly done.
Nothing to do with Stanley.
He might have written like the dopey dialogue that went along with it.
Yeah. Excelsior! You can learn how a human body is really just a series of geometric shapes. Start with an oval. That's a head.
But the thing, blue-eyed,
blue-eyed Ben Grimm.
Ben Grimm.
Okay, so we are back, and Richard and Michael have been giving their Mount Rushmore of shopping mall things. Michael is up with his third.
I got a question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Do you enjoy the internet?
Yeah.
All of it.
Back in the day,
the web.
The mall was basically just the internet of its day.
Oh, shit.
That's where you went to go hang out.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God, yeah.
You could go shopping there. You could play video games there at the aforementioned Timeout Arcade.
You could go into like a store that had a room you could chat in.
Instead of going on like your Grubhub app,
you
could go order food. It had everything you wanted.
Could you
just go to the mall?
Go to the third floor of the internet and pretend that you're throwing a penny into the fountain and just nail a security guard in the head with it?
That's pretty much trolling. That is what internet trolling is today.
I guess my choice is that just this conglomeration of everything that you wanted out of your day. You could go to the mall, and it was shopping, and it was hanging out, and it was a place to go. It was an arcade. It was food. It was kind of freedom from your parents a little bit. Like as a teenager, it was a place that you could have a job. You worked there. You just spent your time there that you weren't working there. It was air conditioned when it was 102 degrees out in the valley. If you live in a place where it's like snows all the time, it's 74 degrees and it's not snowing on you and you feel good. It's this place that, like the internet has become now, where it's just like a weird refuge throughout the day that you shop and chat with friends online and listen to music and do all of these things that is just in like your little handheld device or on your laptop or computer. Is like you did it physically. And everything that the mall kind of was and still is in a way. It doesn't, the most annoying thing about going to the mall is walking around and people are bumping into people on their phones. It's like, why are you at the mall looking at your phone? But I mean, that's like a hacky take on why are you on the street looking on your phone? Or, why is anything that you're doing that you're staring down at this little blue device when you're supposed to be
Yeah.
interacting with a store or a food court or people and friends. And my last few experiences at the mall were with my son. Walking him around in a stroller. It might have been shopping for Christmas, but it was just a nice experience to go out, push him around. It was air conditioned.
Yeah.
It was like, bright lights and things. And at that point he was 7 months old and everything was shiny. He'd still love it today, but like, it's a place that was a little bit magical and a refuse and like this kind of precious thing that I think maybe it's just because you're getting older, or maybe I just don't spend any time there. It feels like it's deteriorated. But I see all these aspects in corners of the internet that just it feels kind of like it's not as good.
It's kind of a mediated social experience. Like it's sanitized and kind of cleaned and rinsed for your enjoyment, with plenty of ways to do what Americans are instructed they're supposed to do: buy things. That's the most ideal state of your American individual.
Hey, getting taken advantage of by like a Botswanan prince.
Yeah.
You can get robbed at the mall just as easy.
The one thing I just kind of despises me about going to the Americana, the Glendale Galleria, is the proliferation of kiosks in the main hall. You just can't go from one end to another without being asked if you need a face cream or a cooling neck pillow or a case for your phone or something, a vape.
Case for your neck pillow.
A case for your vape thing, a case for your neck pillow. And that's sucky.
And if you want to see people who are really disinterested in their job, even more so than the kid who's working the counter at Wetzel's Pretzels.
Yeah.
It's anybody who's working any kiosk inside a mall.
Yeah.
They're on their phone 80% of the time they're there.
I like that the kiosks are basically the pop-up ads of being on like your favorite website. You're just like, I don't need this. I don't need the calendar shop.
Yeah.
I don't need the girl that's throwing like the ball of slime 20 feet in the air and watching it splat. Who is buying this? I mean, I'm sure at some point my 7-year-old son will be enthralled by a ball of like goo. But like all of these things that, like you said, they're just like in your way now, and you're just like, I don't need that kiosk. I don't want that one. You're in the middle of the thing. I'm just trying to go to Brookstone to see the cool shit.
As you get older, you have very specific things. If you have to go to the mall, you're probably there for a very specific reason. And like you said, everything else is just noise that gets in the way, right?
Yeah.
Versus when you're a kid, you literally go there for no reason. Other than the fact that it's the mall, and it's a place where you can meet your friends.
Yeah.
And you can tell your parents, hey, we're going to the mall. And they're going to go, oh, okay. Like nothing really too bad's going to happen there.
Yeah, you're going to see a movie. You're going to have shitty pizza. You're going to spend money that you don't. They know how much money you have.
Right.
You're not going broke at the mall.
Yeah.
So at some point right around college, I think is when the mall becomes just sort of a destination for getting one specific thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to Lids. I gotta get that new Raiders hat.
No, they don't have it there. They have it at Hats.
Oh, Hats. I'm sorry.
I was, when I did that journey to all the different stores.
No, I know. I've been there. I bought a hat from Lids.
There's some terrible names at these stores, by the way.
Yeah. A friend, speaking of, this is the convergence of hats and lids, because a friend got...
It's your head.
When I was in an improv group, a friend got she had 5 different hats that all said "one potato too" on them, and it was like a mall food court place called One Potato Two that had closed down.
Did she get them like on resale or something?
I don't know. Like, it was like they were when they shut down, they took them all to the thrift store or something like that. Their spare hats. God, I love to tell that story at parties. I was a keynote valedictorian at my college. Like I told that story.
I think I seen your TED Talk on
the TED Talk.
Yeah.
Richard, what do you got?
All right. So my third one is the Claire's Boutique.
Whoa, easy.
Otherwise known as where, as a man, if you're near 30, I was still going in there to buy posted back hoop earrings because I didn't like the regular hoop earrings, like the ones that are just like the circular and they kind of you push them through. For whatever reason, like my piercings that I had, like I don't know, they were done.
Please restate. You shopped at Claire's Boutique.
Yes, this is what I'm getting at.
Okay,
and I'm trying to cover up the fact that I was basically 28, 29 years old
Wow.
and going to the store that was designed for like 13-year-old girls.
Yeah.
And really trying not to look like a creepy child molester.
Yeah. No, that's important.
And I don't think it ever worked, you guys. Because, again, I had one specific thing I needed. I needed these, like, think of the earrings that have, like, just the posted, would look like a hoop, but instead of, like, going all the way through, they'd have, like, the posted
Were you
back.
making those pointy finger and
I
circle
was doing
finger
this. So it's a
gestures?
circle. See, so you got the ring, it's a circle. Instead of having it go in there.
So you walked in and started gesturing.
I started gesturing with my finger a hole and just kind of doing that. No, it's the only place I could think of that I could buy like cheap earrings.
Yeah.
So
And
I'd
an
have-
Avril Lavigne shirt.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
that's Hot Topic.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, so that was me until I basically stopped wearing, and that was probably the biggest reason I stopped wearing earrings. I got sick of going to the Claire's.
That's what did it?
Yes, that's also the end of the Limp Bizkit era.
Yeah.
Was the other thing that did it too.
I love it. So what else do they sell at Claire's? Is kind of cheaper jewelry and
it's just like
accessories.
whatever a preteen girl would wear, or again a 28-year-old guy
Yeah.
for earrings, but scrunchies and like any of that kind of
Bits
crap.
and pieces. I'm
Bits
sure.
and pieces.
Yeah.
Then a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know?
Is your oldest daughter?
It's like Oz, but not for scumbags.
Oh, okay.
Spencer's Gifts, but like less erotic stuff in there.
Is Vivian, your daughter, anywhere on the brink of being a mall denizen?
I don't think kids are anymore.
Oh, really?
I just don't think they go to the mall, and Vivian doesn't really.
Do you have
we kinda
AC,
have to
do you have AC at your place?
We have a wall unit, so it's good.
She's
enough.
going.
Yeah,
She's
she'll be-
going.
See ya.
No, we have to drag her to the mall as it is. Last time we went to the mall was because she got a gift card to the Build-A-Bear workshop. The kids both got it for
yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah.
And it was at the Glendale Galleria, and it was at a kiosk, by the way.
Oh,
And that was the exception to the rule. The guy working there at the Build-A-Bear workshop, A+ work guy, he was like
right on.
totally into it. Like, so here's all the options you got, and I'd really recommend this. And,
Yeah.
oh, you could do a cool thing with that. And it's like,
and I'm cheerful because I work 1 month out of the goddamn year. Okay, that is Claire's and your acquisition of your penultimate or ultimate earrings.
yeah. And
These were like a hoop, like a disco, like a Donna
Wait,
Summer War or something.
no, yeah, like the giant ones that were like,
Yeah.
they're like those little small like hoops that like, but they would have like a posted, they call it a posted back that you
okay.
would push through instead of like the little loopy thing.
Or the magnet, like the Guido, New Jersey dude.
Yeah, nobody wants that. That's not very punk rock, Jeff. My ears. The reason I needed the posted back ones is because, being punk rock, I just used an ice pick just to
sweet.
pierce my own ears. So
Michael, what is your final choice?
My last
no,
pick?
Yes, your final choice.
My last choice is the Dead Mall,
Oh,
the Ghost Town.
Oh, wow.
When
Ghost Town.
when all the stores except for like 2 or 3
Yeah.
are keeping this thing afloat because they have some crappy lease that they can't get out of, and the mall can't quite close.
Yeah.
When it's a mall that's being held open by like a movie theater,
Mm-hmm.
and then like the weird, crazy foreign furniture store.
Yeah. Yeah, the place that sells like a suit of armor and a
Yes.
stuffed leopard. And,
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's an
bamboo.
entire couch that's made just out of the back pockets of jeans.
Yeah.
And you're like, why is this? Who is
Yeah.
buying this place this in the first place?
Yeah.
And how is this place still open? Who is this selling? to?
Maybe a tuxedo rental place.
Like a David's Bridals or something.
Yeah.
But you walk through, and they still have all of like either the plastic kind of foliage,
Uh-huh.
and the planters are either kind of alive, kind of dead. It's just shutters
Yeah.
and gates closed.
Yeah.
And it's like the B. Dalton. But then it turned into a different bookstore.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, what
It
happened?
was like the half
Yeah,
off bookstore or something.
That place is weird too.
Crown or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Yeah.
Being in like these once grand, destinations that are now just empty, echoey
Yeah.
buildings is just creepy and fun and weird and sad and just like, I can't believe this still takes up so much space that could be
Used for.
anything, housing, a park, a flat land that
What
is
is it?
not.
The world's largest roller hockey rink.
Yeah,
Is it because it feels like a haunted house or something?
a little bit. It feels like Yeah, I think that there is a sense that there used to be like life there,
Yeah.
and it was vibrant, and you could see this 30 years ago being a place that people went to all the time, and then it's like to being like in a big empty house. You're like, the empty houses sound weird, and they feel weird,
Yeah.
and they're like either someone's just moving in or someone's just moving out, but it's like in this weird transition phase. And with malls that are dead or mostly dead or whatever, they're just like always, and they're going to be that way for a long time. And it's weird to be in them, but it's kind of like really cool.
Yeah.
I always appreciate when you're at one of those like mostly dead malls, and they still have the signs up that says this space available for lease. It's like, well, no,
So much hope.
well, no shit. Please come lease for any reason. If you want to run like a meth lab out of here, we'll probably take it at this point.
What is it? Because I think of malls as an affirmation of the consumer. Kind of what I said earlier, consumerism being like the ideal state of an American individual, and then the seeing all these lights that have been snuffed out kind of makes you think, well, it's not working completely.
Each one of those was a franchisee who probably put like God knows how much of their savings.
Yeah.
Because like, in 1991, hey, like a Walden Books. People are going to be reading books for decades and centuries. It's like a license to print money.
Yeah.
Now fast forward like 10, 15 years and you can buy any book you want online and they're done.
I think it's really sad when you see like the new mall built right next to the old mall, and you're like, God, just don't stop flaunting it. It's like when you see a new stadium built next to like one that they're gonna knock down in 5 or 6 years. That's just kind of hanging out, and you're that old stadium's still right next to it, and no one goes in there, and it's kind of falling apart. And maybe it's its only future is to be a parking lot for the stadium.
Yeah.
And it has that same sort of just like desolate, sad.
There'll be some pretty good swap meets in that stadium, or like the Reptile Expo. I don't know what it is. I think I've looked at a few websites that have it's in kind of like haunted malls, the closed malls.
I think deadmalls.com has a collection of just photographs and information about all these depressing places.
I love to see too when you can of that place that was. It's called Feet Locker now. I wonder what it used to be. Foot Locker, maybe. That
Foot liquor? What?
Foot Liquor. Oh, that's fun. Okay, Richard, I think you're wrapping things up here for us.
Hey guys,
What?
Goody's got it.
Oh, Sam Goody.
Yeah.
Boy, howdy.
And boy, if you mean it, I mean like 80 copies of the latest Mariah Carey album. That's what they've got, basically. Yeah, otherwise they don't got it.
They don't got it.
I mean, this was like the bottom of the barrel of your music store options growing up. Maybe if you had like a Music Select or something like that in your hometown, you had something a little bit lower. But other than that,
The most insulting thing about Sam Goody's is how fucking expensive it was.
yes.
You could never get like a new CD for like $11.99.
They're like
It was
18
all
bucks.
$18.99. You're like,
Oh, wow.
Are you fucking kidding me for the Red Hot Chili Peppers new album?
Wow.
No way.
But they knew that if you decided you had to get it like that very day, and maybe you're there with your parents, and your parents were going to pick up the tab for it or help you split it or whatever, then they could just crank that price up just for a few extra dollars. Man, Sam Goody.
So angry you brought this to our attention again.
It was the Walden. It was the B. Daltons of like music stores.
Did you ever have a Sam Goody or Musicland employee? Because I think towards their end, they were owned by Best Buy, purchased all these mall retailers.
Yeah.
And Suncoast Media or
Suncoast,
Motion,
yeah.
Motion
Yeah.
Picture, they bought them all. But then snobbery at the hands of those people. I had those experiences.
Well, see, where I grew up, we had 3 options essentially for music, if you don't count like the little indie record store that never had anything and thought that they were hot shit when they were really only half of that, to use one of Michael's favorite phrases. You had Sam Goody's, which is where you only went if you had some sort of like gift card to Sam Goody's, basically.
It's where you told your grandma to get your Christmas present.
Just give me just give me a gift card from Sam Goody's. I'll be good. Or we had a Tower of Records, so that's where you went if you were like the total hardcore music snob, right?
Yeah.
That's where you went, where all the staff were like in their mid-20s, didn't seem to actually be working there at all. They had a cool, I don't give a shit kind of attitude, but at the same time, if you needed someone to tune you into this new band called the Pixies that's going to be breaking out, they're probably going to be the one to do it. And they had that cool. Remember the magazine, the Pulse magazine? That would be like where I would always get ideas for new albums to just buy. You used to just buy albums just like on the fact that like Tower Records magazine said, "Oh, this is a good album. You should buy it." And you would go, "Well, if Tower Records says it's cool, got to be cool."
Yeah.
Also signing every once in a while.
Yeah, they would do that sometimes. Or the other one we had was the Warehouse.
Oh, sure.
Warehouse.
Yeah.
Which was essentially a slight step up from Sam Goody's because it was like $16 instead of $19 for the CD, but they had a little bit more selection and they had the used section.
Yeah.
Where that was the first like music chain I could remember where you could actually sell CDs back and then go in there and buy like the used CDs for like $8-9.
We had a place called Music Plus, and that was kind of generic, kind of like new and used stuff. Then there was a warehouse that was also the place where you could get concert tickets. Like they had the ticket, they had the Ticketmaster like kiosk station. That was always like I never understood how they just had the tickets there too. You know, they printed them then and there. They didn't just have like copies of tickets.
It's magic.
It was amazing, but it was always like, I guess we just get tickets here too.
Is this a real ticket?
One of the few times I waited for tickets, I was with my friend Romeo Leone, and we waited. It was like a.
That sounds like a Rob Schneider character.
Or it sounds like a Lou Reed song. My friend Romeo Leone.
We went and got like K-Rock wristbands to get tickets to go see Bush.
Nice.
We did not get tickets because our wristbands didn't have the right number set.
Oh,
so you had to get certain. It was like between this and this.
Oh, so they were sold out.
I guess. So. I mean, you know.
Yeah, only people who had a certain number.
Yeah,
it was like a lottery. Basically.
Yeah, basically, it was like you could get tickets between, numbers 102 and 152, and then between 450 and 549 or whatever. And it's like if you didn't have those, you were just like, well, what's the point of waiting in line? I mean, how did they just give them out randomly, or did they give them out sequentially? And so those people that got here at 7 o'clock are better than the people that got here at 5. That's
they were, Michael. They were.
Thank you, the warehouse.
But you're right, Jeff. Getting condescended to by the Sam Goody guy.
Yeah,
that's the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm going to get condescended to by the Tower Records guy, at least he's hipper than me.
Yeah,
I can live with that.
Sam Goody guy couldn't get a job at Tower Records.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why he's at Sam Goody. Yeah.
Exactly. That's his dream is to be working at Tower Records.
The Sam Goody to Suncoast's slow transformation always introduced, like in the middle part of the store, this weird collection of like toys and anime statues
movie
that
posters.
you could buy. It was always
movie
like
posters.
And movie posters.
Yeah.
The whole wall of movie posters that is just like, what is this place turning into? I wonder like to be in there on its final days and be like, I don't even recognize it. It looks like a Claire's in here now. I don't know what
then
is
I
it?
go in and try to buy earrings.
I worked at Best Buy when they purchased Sam Goody, Musicland, Suncoast, and I had to do make videos for the employees of those places. And the stupid shit we were telling them about their business, like try to get people to buy, basically, if you could sell somebody blank storage DVDs or a media rack or monster cables or something like that. It was not at all about the movies. And there was one thing, like I said, like, can we do something about movies? Like, what they were trying to frame them up as experts on movies. And so they would say, we know what all the DVD Easter eggs are in the movies and DVD extras. That was their marketable difference then versus the internet or the music club or something.
You can't find information about Easter eggs on the internet.
On the internet, where are you going to find that?
Crazy.
Okay, guys, this was a blast. It was fun. Oh, dude, the security guard's coming after us.
Okay, guys,
we need to get out of it pretty quick.
I don't want to tell you guys, but I boosted a CD of Sam Goody's.
Dude, are you serious?
Yeah, it's a Dramarama CD. I couldn't find it over the grass. We got to beat feet, guys.
We went off to the cheese fries place for 1 second. You steal a CD. Okay. So, just for its emotional content, the Dead Mall thing was really cool to me, and the mall as an experience I thought was really cool, and comparing to the internet. So, Michael, those are 2 points for you, and you'll both get a point for the food court. Richard, I'm sorry you're going to be kind of slighted on this, but I think your story at Claire's is very worthy of a point. So it was 3-1.
Okay.
All right, no, 3-2.
3-2.
3-2. So it smells like there's a fire outside.
Could
Am
be.
I wrong? Okay.
We may be burning to death out in
Okay.
here.
This has
In the
been-
podcast studio fire. If you hear about a Burbank/North Hollywood
Oh my
podcast
God.
studio fire, just hope that we get the episode
Yeah.
loaded before we perish.
Please launch what I'm sure will be a pathetic tribute to the Mount Rushmore podcast. This has been the Mount Rushmore podcast, I, as always, am Jeff.
I'm Richard.
Hi, Michael.